said to me, this is like the best value for money course in the world. And it's so easy to focus on the ones who are unhappy rather than the people who love what you do. Some of my best sellers were just with the webcam and really funky sound, echoey sound. When I write my technical articles, I always start with a little funny anecdote. If you can make someone laugh and chuckle, you've got an instant connection with the person. I was sitting at a taverna with some friends, and afterwards I'd say, just made a couple of sales whilst we're sitting there. And they're going like, how do you do that?
Hello and welcome to the Art of Selling online courses. We are here to share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name is John Ainsworth and today's guest is Dr. Heinz Kabutz. Now, Heinz is the author of the Java Specialists newsletter, which is read in 156 countries around the globe. The Vatican does not have a reader yet, but the Faroe Islands do. Today, we're going to be talking about why you should give away your best content for free, why you need to make your audience laugh, and why video and sound don't matter as much as some people think. Hello, and welcome to the Art of Selling online courses. We are here to share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name is John Ainsworth, and today's guest is Dr. Heinz Kabutz. Now, Heinz is the author of the Java Specialists newsletter, which is read in 156 countries around the globe. The Vatican does not have a reader yet, but the Faroe Islands do. Today, we're going to be talking about why you should give away your best content for free, why you need to make your audience laugh, and why video and sound don't matter as much as some people think. Heinz, welcome to the show.
Hey, John, thank you so much. I'm really honored to be invited to this.
So talk us just through briefly, what do you have in your courses? Who are you helping? What kind of problem are you solving for them?
So my courses target or provide material for advanced Java programmers. And there's not much material out there for advanced Java programmers. There's lots of beginners, how to write Hello World, how to write a tic-tac-toe game, how to get Java onto your Android device. But there's not much in the high end how to tune a multi-million-dollar banking system to be faster and save you, $100,000 a day.
Okay. So your target audience is senior programmers, is that right?
Senior programmers. Absolutely.
Okay, what counts someone as being senior? Are they still coding when they're a senior programmer? Or are they managing other programmers?
No, they're definitely coding. So they are. They definitely are the guys who are the people who are coding in Java, or who are tuning these big systems, complicated systems.
Got it. Okay,
that's
cool.
my target.
That sounds pretty niche. What kind of number
niche.
of I know you've got obviously a lot of readers, people from 156 countries, but how big of an audience is that even in the world? Have you got any kind of idea of how many senior Java developers there are in the world?
Well, there are not that many senior Java programmers in the world.
Yeah.
There are about 10, 11 million Java programmers in the world.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how many will be there next year, because AI is supposedly going to take over our jobs.
Yeah.
So maybe next year we'll have 1 million Java programmers left, and the rest have gone into farming or something. I've got no idea. I was actually doing another interview, and the guy who's interviewing me used to be in the construction business, and he told me that construction business isn't that different to the software business.
Okay.
And I said to him, okay, so once we lose our jobs with AI, can we go back can we go to the construction business? And he's like, well, you need a certain type of body for that, which is probably not going to be the right body that Java programmers have.
So how have you built this audience of senior Java programmers? How did you manage to get in front of them in the first place?
I started writing articles, newsletter 5 years ago. It was in the year 2000 when basically the world was going down the tube in the IT business, because companies had overinvested in the IT business, and they were absolutely tired of spending anything on IT. I had about 4 or 5 customers, and I lost them all within a month. And so I had nothing to do, and I started playing golf, and I was really bad at golf. you you picked up that I'm South African, so I'll give you a South African version of golf. It's basically called Moer en Soek.
Okay.
But that's Afrikaans. So your South African audience will now have a big chuckle. But
oh, okay, right.
You'll be wondering what I meant over there. Basically, I knew every single square inch of the golf course except for the green.
Right. Okay, got it. Yeah.
And I got bored, and I thought, no, I've got to do something else. So I started writing this newsletter, and because I had a lot of ideas about different things, different advanced topics I could explore. And people always said, hey, why don't you write a book? And I was like, that's too much work, writing a book. And I have written books, but it's like, it's really is a pain to write a book. So instead, I wrote individual newsletters, sent them out. And the first one was really terrifying because I sent it to about 80 people that I knew. And the problem is that I knew, right? And I got back like some responses of, I don't care about Java and not interested in this topic. To like, this is a great newsletter. And the problem is that when you get 10 positive results and one negative result, even if it's like, I don't work with Java anymore, the 10 just gets obliterated by the one negative comment. So you have to sort of ignore everything and just keep on going. And I believe that mine is the longest running, continuously running Java newsletter in the world.
Wow, okay.
There's one that started about 3 weeks after me, and he'll never catch up because I started 3 weeks before him.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't talk about exact numbers because, they fluctuate. People come and go, and it's like, but it's a big reach. It's a really big reach. And I keep on going to conferences, and then people want to come take photos with me, and, they want to shake my hand because they've been reading my newsletter for 20 years. And in fact, I get in trouble with my email provider because I say these email addresses can't still work. These are like and I had this really weird experience, John, when I went to Romania once. I was in Bucharest, and I was wearing one of my Java Champion. This is a Java Champion shirt. It's a thing that I got in 2005, I think, and. So I was walking there, I did some shopping, and I was walking carrying these shopping bags, and this guy in Romania walks up to me and he says, are you Heinz Kabutz? And I'm like, yes, just a random guy on the street. That doesn't normally happen to me. I'm not like an influencer. People don't know who I am, except in the Java world. They know who I am. But just this random guy, hey, are you Heinz Kabutz? I'm going like, yes, who are you? And he says to me, I'm not important. It doesn't matter who I am. I said, yeah, but I want to know who you are. And he would not tell me who he was. He was so proud that he spotted me in Bucharest. And I still, to this day, have got no idea who this guy is. His name is probably Alexandros, because every second person is called Alexandros. But I've got no idea who he is. And this happens to me like quite frequently, that people know me through the newsletter, and it's a wide reach. It's a very wide reach.
So you've been running it for 25 years, but how has that led to the growth in the audience? Is it word of mouth from people who read it, telling everybody else about it? Is it SEO from the articles that you're writing? Like, how did that get in front of so many people?
Okay, so I got a bit of a foot up, and when I started, there was a very famous author who put me on his website.
Oh, nice.
Guy called Bruce Eckel. He doesn't do Java anymore, does other languages now, and I think he might be retired or close to retirement. But he was very kind to give me a start and put me in front of, on his website. And so I got a lot of people signing up from that. But now it just grows organically. So I don't do any specific SEO. I had my brother-in-law help me with SEO years ago, but I haven't done any of that for a very, very long time.
Why do you think one of the things that you'd said when you messaged me before was that you think it's important to make your audience laugh? And it sounded like you almost think it's more important to entertain them than for them to actually learn anything from you. Why do you think that? Talk me through that.
Yeah, that's 100%, 100%. So what I'm trying to say about my audience is these are like incredible people in key positions. So you'll have like the technical director of blah, blah, blah bank, will be on my newsletter.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And I've got a connection with them, and the connection it goes far beyond the technical. If you can make someone laugh and chuckle, you've got an instant connection with the person. It's like public speaking. If you, when I do talk, I always try to make the audience laugh within the first, 5 seconds.
Right.
And if I do that, there's an instant connection, and you have oxytocin flowing, and everybody's happy, and you're having a good time. I remember I was in Athens once, and there was a Java conference put on by, I think it was Sun Microsystems, or I think it was Sun Microsystems at the time, and before my talk, I sort of mingled through the audience and chatted to people, and I sort of got a feel of what people are thinking about. And then I got up and I said something, and the whole audience started laughing. And afterwards, I had lunch with one of the other speakers, and she was a very, very experienced speaker. She used to speak in front of thousands of people. And she said to me, "Heinz, why did they laugh? It wasn't even funny what you said." And I said, "I know, it wasn't funny, but it was the right thing for this audience."
Mm.
And so what I do is, when I write my technical articles, I always start with a little funny anecdote. It could be something, something, because I live on the island of Crete, so I've got this really incredible lifestyle. In the morning, I go to the beach and go for a run and go for a swim, and like 300 days a year. I go for a swim in the sea here, which people can just dream of. You guys from London, you come here for a week and then get drunk every day in Crete, and then go home again. But we have this every day, not getting drunk every day, but going to the beach every single day. It's really a fantastic place. So I write something about that, or just some weird stuff that about my life, or about something funny, and so people get this connection. And so I try and include humor in my newsletters. And the other day I was going through my archive, because I've got over 300 of these things I've written over 25 years, and I was reading some of them, and I actually packed out laughing at my own jokes from 20 years ago.
So funny.
I thought, oh man, I was mocking the sport of cricket, and it was like such a bad burn. It was like, it was terrible.
I do find it's interesting, because I'll read something that I've written that I thought was funny at the time, and I'm like, I don't know if everybody else will find this funny. But when I read it back and I've forgotten that I wrote it, I'm like, that was really funny.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I find me very funny. And not just because I know it's me. I've read stuff before. I remember one time I was at school, and I'd some sign had been defaced, and somebody had written something on it. And I read it and I thought it was very funny. And my friend Tim said, "Do you know who wrote that?" I said, "No." He said, "You did." And I was like, I think I'm really funny. Not everyone agrees, but that's okay. That's all right.
I'm sure your teachers were not impressed.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That wasn't the job. That wasn't the job to make them laugh.
And John, with that, I'm not a good writer.
Okay.
My actual prose, my grammar is all messed up, and I try and use very simple words, because I've got readers in 156 countries. It's all over the place. And the number of countries who have English as a first language is USA, Canada, South Africa, UK, okay, Scotland. I don't know what they speak in Scotland, Gaelic or something. That's Welsh. I don't know. But basically Australia, New Zealand, and that's it. And the rest is English is a foreign language.
Yeah.
So if you write with the perfect prose and the perfect grammar and perfect words, often you just lose people. And for me, I will rather pick a word or a sentence structure which I find funny than one which is correct. If it sounds funny, I'll go for that.
Nice. One of the other things you'd mentioned is that you think you should give away your best content for free, and that you've basically given everything away over the years in the newsletter. One thing so I was having this conversation with someone the other day, and he's a very smart guy. And I'm in a mastermind with him, and he sells Spanish coaching.
Okay.
So mass market, but a little more expensive than kind of the average. Like it's a few hundred a month. He's been on the podcast before. And I said to him that he should sell a low ticket course. So like not just the coaching, but try selling a course that was like they could do on their own. And he said, but what we've always promised is that you could get everything from us. We give everything away for free. And I'm like, of course you give everything away for free. Like he's got a podcast himself, and in the podcast they give everything away for free. It's like nobody, like everybody who teaches courses gives everything away for free, because otherwise you'd run out of content. The point of the course is not that it's different. It's always going to be the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be packaged better, and it's going to be organized in a structure that helps people to learn.
Correct.
And
absolutely.
I don't know, he didn't seem to, I don't know, it kind of didn't fit in his brain, because he's always had a marketing point of we give it away for free. But I'm like, I'm totally with you on this. It's like, of course, like otherwise, what are you giving away? Your second best stuff. And then it's like, how's that going to help you to build an audience, right? Why do you think it's so important? Why do you think it matters so much?
Well, the difference is in the consumption of the product.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes to me and they say to me, Heinz, I want you to teach me everything that you know. Okay. I'll say, well, start with newsletter number 1 and read through to newsletter number 323 or 5 or something like that. And everything, almost everything, I've got a few things that are not in there, but almost everything I know is in there. It's all there for free. The archive is available. Just read it. And I do have people that print them all out and got like an archive of all my newsletters and print them out and read them and study them all, and they really benefit from it. And it's for me, it's a really great way not to drop my prices, because I get people coming to me. They're saying they're students. They're students at university. They want to buy my course. My courses are priced for the professional Java programmer. They're not priced for students. So, for example, I've got a bundle that includes all my material, all the courses, and it's $1,870. And I never give a 90% discount, like ever. It's never going to happen. And there's reason why I've got that price. There's a lot of research behind it, but also I will actually mark the exercises that people do. And I'll give them certificates based on their exercises. So if they get a certificate, it actually means something. And I sometimes get people that will send me their certificates, which they just copied and pasted from my solutions. And I spot that in an instant. And then I send it back a polite email saying, well, thanks for sending those to me. Will you please maybe do them yourself or something like that and send them again? So it's in terms of the product, it's a very premium product, but not everybody can afford that. Somebody who's a professional Java programmer working for a bank in London or New York or Germany somewhere, they're going like, okay, I've got a budget for the year. Let me spend it on Heinz's premium product and I'll learn a heck of a lot. And of course, also teach in-person courses as well, besides the self-study courses. But then you have other people who are just starting and they're beginners in Java, or they're students or something, and they've got a lot of time available. They actually can afford to spend the time reading the books I recommend and reading my newsletters. So there's no reason for them to buy my course. It's a complete waste of money for them.
Yeah.
Because they can just spend 3 years or whatever it takes to read through my archives and get through that and get everything they need from there.
Yeah, I was chatting with a friend, Mark. He runs a podcast called Authority Hacker, and it used to be, they've changed it now to be AI focused, but it used to be for helping people learn how to set up niche sites or authority sites. Like a site where you have content on one very specific topic, and then they'd often make money through having ads on the sites. And so it was mostly based around search engine optimization. And he said, I was talking to him about how I'd been doing the podcast for a year at the time, something like that. And how it's like, I don't know what else to cover, because I've covered all of the topics. There's only so many things in email marketing and funnels to cover. It's like, there's only 2 things in SEO. Write really good content and build more links. And it's like, and I've been doing this podcast for 5 years. And I still have people come up and they're like, oh, I kind of starting to get the hang of it now. It's like, you've got to find so many. So you don't have to worry about giving away the content. That's not the problem. The problem is, can you make it entertaining enough and interesting enough, and then get people to pay, want to be in the audience and want to listen to you, and then can you make your courses organized enough and like help people to actually achieve the outcome? Because it's like, lots of people I know who listen to the podcast, they haven't done the stuff yet.
Yeah.
Like, I want to achieve these things and it's helpful and it's useful, but they might do a little bit here, a little bit there. And then they sign up as a client and they go through the course. It's like, right, now you're taking it seriously. Now you're going to go through and do everything step by step.
Well, it's like paying for a gym, right? Once you pay for the gym, you're more likely to go.
Yeah.
Like once you sign up for the course, you're more likely to do it.
Yeah. One of the things you said about courses themselves was that you think the video and sound don't matter as much as people think they do. I think you were talking about the course rather than like social media content, right?
Yeah, correct. I mean, I've spent a lot of money on my equipment. The camera I'm using now, it's a Blackmagic home studio camera, thousands of dollars. Even my tripod is like a complete overkill. It's like a graphite tripod Manfrotto. It's completely ridiculous. I've got a teleprompter. My mic is like $1,000 just for the microphone. And I've invested heavily in my equipment. Top MacBook Pros and Elgato lighting and Stream Deck and the works. I've got really a great studio here. However, some of my best sellers were just with the webcam and really funky sound, echoey sound. And the weird thing is that, I prefer listening to good sound and having a great microphone. I'm using a DPA microphone, which is really, really expensive, but it's amazing. But what's nice about my microphone is that I don't have to do any post editing. I record it and it's finished product. So I save myself a lot of time by having a great microphone. Whereas before I'd always have to try and tweak it and improve it and so on. And so what I'm saying is that with if something is not as good, if a course isn't as good quality, in other words, if your content is amazing, but the recording quality is not so good, sometimes, and in fact, I'm going to say usually, the person listening are going to pay more attention to listen, which is kind of weird because you would expect the opposite. You expect if it's got to be perfect so they can pay attention. And so even though I really have spent a fortune on my equipment to get it to where it is now, even a teleprompter so I can look at you directly when I'm speaking to you. I can see you looking slightly down. I'm looking straight at you, at your picture, and that's an expensive thing to have, but it's not as important as good content. And having something which is slightly off and slightly not perfect is often going to be better than first of all having nothing, or having perfect quality and boring content. Like AI generated content is got to just be the worst. That is not fun at all. I don't think anybody likes to watch AI generated content.
Yeah. I was talking to some friends recently about how come LinkedIn seems to have had this big change, and like some people have like massive drop in number of views of their content. And a theory that I'd heard was that there's so much AI generated content on LinkedIn now. It's just spread where people are seeing, like it's just so much content that it's like diluting. But it probably also means that if you're able to make really good content, you'll then stand out and get shown more. Maybe their content was not enough better than the AI content that's being
AI cannot
out,
write humor.
Is that true? I don't know. Maybe they can't write Dr. Heinz Kabutz level humor,
No, it can't. It cannot write humor. Try and make it write something that you will actually really laugh at, like a heartfelt laugh. It won't do it. It's like my little thing where I was mocking cricket, the sport of cricket.
Yeah.
If it's ChatGPT, write a joke about how stupid cricket is, they'll say, no, it's not as stupid. I mean, people like that sport, and the English love watching cricket, and the New Zealand love cricket, and South Africans love cricket. And it'll go like, okay, I get that, but, just make a joke about it. And they said, well, it's not nice to make joke about other people's favorite sport, and it'll just carry on and on like that. And you won't get it to actually make a joke about something like that. I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe ChatGPT 5
I'm asking it now to see.
Yeah, exactly.
It says a game so slow, even the grass growing on the pitch gets bored. I think that's
actually not too bad. That's actually not too bad.
They call it a test match because the real test is how long can you stay awake.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's getting better.
It's getting better. It's getting better. You got to watch out.
It's catching up. Yeah.
So when you it comes time for you to like launch a new course or promote one of your courses, what's your kind of approach for that? Like, how often are you running email promotions? What does a kind of promotion look like when you send them out to your audience?
Well, I've got a bunch of people on my Teachable platform that I email, right? And then I'll email it through to my standard newsletter, and I'll include links to that in my next upcoming newsletter as well. So it'll be like an email to everybody, an email specifically to my Teachable students, and then also an email or links inside my upcoming newsletter.
Okay.
But I don't send too many emails. I send a lot of emails over Black Friday. That's where I'm really going crazy.
Okay.
But
and if you tried doing promotions, more like bigger promotions more regularly during the year?
Yes. A really good time for that is sort of springtime, May. So May and November are really good. And every year I say to myself, I'm going to do it. And then I sort of miss it and I get busy with other stuff. I should have done it. I've left all this money on the table and I didn't do it. So yeah. I also do like a sales webinar. In May, and that was always very well received.
Yeah.
I just haven't done it this year or last year or the year before. You know, COVID. I don't know, John. I can't tell you why I didn't do it.
I had a friend I was chatting with the other day. She sells coaching, so higher ticket. I think her program is like $8,000, something like this. And she
I need to increase my price, I think.
Yeah. Right. She works in the she helps people to invest in property out of state in America. So if you live in California, but you want to, you find that buying and renting out properties in California is not great for taxes, whatever, she'll help you to be doing it in Wisconsin or Virginia or whatever.
Right. Gotcha.
Quite niche, but kind of the how to make more money. She does it herself. She has like 10 or 20 properties herself. And she has an audience, 6,000 people, I think, ish. And she was like, how do I want to make some more money? She hadn't worked that much for a while now, and she's kind of, everything was just ticking over, and she wanted to make some more money. And she said, well, sure, what do you think I should do? I said, you should run a webinar. And she ran 2 webinars. Yep. She did one to her own audience, one to a partner's audience. And she made $170,000. And she said, what should I do now? I said, run another webinar. It's like, it's working. Webinars are not everybody's going to make $170,000, right? You know, she had a particularly high spending audience, but still, I was just like, oh my God, webinars are so good. So what's worked well?
And I used to do like, the other thing I used to do is once a month, I used to do something called Heinz's Happy Hour. My wife actually came up with that name. And it was basically like one, I think it was Tuesday or Thursday a month, the first Tuesday or Thursday a month. And we got together just the technical stuff, just talking about technology and Java, and I'd show them something new about Java. And it was such a nice community, but it wasn't a sales webinar. And so I didn't make a lot of sales, and I did it the first year, and I made enough money to make it worth it for the first year. And then the second and third year, it didn't really pay for itself. And then I just got tired of it. But I still meet people today. This was quite a while ago. This was about more than 10 years ago. I still meet people today say, oh man, those happy hours were amazing. Can't you do them again? You know? But the sales webinars are really good at it. And what you can also do with that is once you've perfected it, once you've done maybe 10 of those, you can turn that into an evergreen sales webinar.
Yeah.
And then you're making money without doing anything. You're just like, they join it. It feels live.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that you always people want to be connected to a group. They want to feel connected. You know, and a webinar really does that. If you feel like you're part of something, and this live experience is really worth a lot. It really is worth a lot. So something else, I don't know if I didn't put it into questions, but something else I was thinking about whilst we were talking is, when you mentioned the 175,000 for the webinar, one of the challenges of selling courses, or in fact not selling courses, selling anything online that has a relatively low cost per item, but a high cost of production, is that you can actually produce a fair amount of passive income from that. And I found that to be a very unsatisfactory income.
Okay, interesting.
It's weird. It's like, when I'm actually teaching a live course,
Yeah.
and I've got 20 people in the course, and they're all paying me whatever. Not 8,000, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But all paying me. I feel at the end of the day that I've done some work.
Yeah.
But if I just have the money coming in without seemingly doing anything at that moment, it doesn't feel as satisfying. And I think that's just sort of the Christian upbringing, that you must first work and then you get your pay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that or if it's just me, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's a mindset change, because it's quite often that I was sitting at a taverna with some friends, and afterwards I'd say, "Oh, just made a couple of sales whilst we're sitting here," and they're going like, "How do you do that?"
So how much of the money that you make comes from the pre-recorded courses, and how much comes from the doing coaching to 30 people, like you mentioned?
Most of it is from pre-recorded courses.
Yeah. Okay.
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it scales.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I think it's amazing.
And it's on demand. Like I'm talking to one company now. We're going to do a course in November in person in Germany somewhere. So I've got to organize flights, hotel, and organize all this stuff. And it's a very slow, cumbersome process to get there and to teach them. But if the same programmers wanted to actually take my class now, they could just buy it online and study it by themselves.
Yeah.
Obviously, the advantages of doing it in person, but it's just immediately accessible if they want to do it right now.
Yeah,
and cheaper.
So what we found in terms of running email promotions or running webinars to an audience is that it's actually, for most people, pretty much everybody, it's possible to do it much more often than people think you can do it. So nearly everybody that I talk to when they come to us,
I think you're right,
does 1 to 3 promotions a year. Black Friday, like you mentioned, and then when they launch a course. So then if they're launching 1 or 2 courses a year, they'll have 2 to 3 total promotions that go out. And you'll always see a spike in sales when you do an email promotion.
Always.
So the question then is, well, what would it take to do more of those email promotions? And the concern that pretty much everybody has, and I'm just going to mention this and you can tell me if this applies to you or not, is that people are worried that the audience is going to get annoyed because they're getting all these emails.
Correct.
And they're going to feel kind of salesy and spammy, and they're worried that all of their audience is going to unsubscribe, and then it's like that was not the kind of thing I wanted to happen. Does that resonate with you, or is there kind of different reasons why you?
Well, I've got a way around that.
Okay.
What I do is, so I've got my newsletter, which is really a technical newsletter, and when I send out a salesy promotion, I'll always at the bottom have a very big button, like a big red button that say, opt me out of further course emails. And if they don't want to hear about my courses, I don't want to send them stuff about my courses. And so whenever I send out anything like that, anything that people could say is spammy, right at the bottom of the email, there's an unsubscribe from all emails. But not that many click on that. What they will click on is, I don't want to know about courses anymore, right? But what is interesting is there's also a relationship between myself and these people who are reading my newsletter. And sometimes there comes a time where somebody will send me a question about something, and I'll look them up on my newsletter to see how long they've been on there for, and so on, some 20 years, whatever. And it does affect how I feel about them when I see that they've opted out of my course. It does. It just does. I mean, it does. Because I'm thinking like, so you're just consuming my content, but you're never ever going to be a customer. It does change how I feel about them. I'll still treat them nicely and I'll still answer their questions. But in terms of feeling, I'm going like, so Peter doesn't want to hear about any of my courses, but now he wants help for his project.
The thing we do is kind of similar, but a little bit milder from the effect on the business point of view. Is we will say we do it with our clients. We do an email promotion every month. So every single month there's a promotion going out. And we'll do a week warm up where there's no promotion going on. We're just talking about the topic. So let's say it's about relationships, right? Choose something else completely. There'll be a week's content about relationships that doesn't mention the course. And then there's a week saying, and we've got a course that goes into more detail on this topic. Here's why you might want to get it. Here's benefits of it, testimonials, etc., that kind of thing.
With links to the course.
With links to the course to buy in that second week. Yeah. And in the second week's emails and in the last email of the first week, we include a link that says, we're going to have, during this course this week, there's going to be more emails than normal about this course. If you don't want to hear about this course, click here to opt out. And
so you're more fine-grained. You're more fine-grained.
Promotion. But then the next month, there'll be another one. And they can opt out of that one if they want to as well. But they're not opting out of all course promotion. They're opting out of that month's course promotion. Because we find sometimes
that's good.
People aren't ready. They're not in a place to buy something at the moment, but 6 months later they are. And so it's kind of like giving that option. And that's like, I feel really good about that because it means that people are in control. They don't have to opt out completely. They don't have to get annoyed at us if they don't want to hear about it. But they also have the option the next month. They're also going to hear the promotion the next month.
I like
that. So I find that to be quite a good balance personally.
Yeah. That's better than my approach.
What stops you from sending email promotions more regularly than you do at the moment? Because it would, if you did it more often, if you promoted some of your existing courses more often, then it would make you more revenue. You might not feel that you've earned it because it's because you haven't worked hard enough for it. But like, is that the reason, or is there any other reason how come you don't send more promotions?
It's a good question. Why don't you see to put together one of my technical newsletters takes quite a bit of effort, and I normally do that once a month. I do my actual newsletter, the Java newsletter, so for me to then also send them emails, promotional emails, as well as the newsletter. If I send them once a month, also promotional newsletter. That might be too much. Maybe it's not too much. Maybe I should do it. Maybe I should do one promotional and one. But I like your idea of having like 3-4, because that's easy to set up. I mean, I use Infusionsoft. I can just make a sequence in there and say if they click opt out for this particular course, then just take them out of the sequence. It's really easy to do.
Yeah.
So that would be a piece of cake to do.
So
I think it's psychological because I don't want to lose my audience. I don't want people to unsubscribe from me completely, or lose reputation. Yeah, lose reputation. A good name is worth more than silver and gold.
Yeah, what we found, and we've tested a lot, is that if you do one promotion a month with opt-outs, with we run something we call nurture promos, which is basically we're trying to both nurture the audience by providing value and promote the course at the same time, so that the emails themselves are useful and valuable, even if you don't buy the course. That's the goal of them.
Yes,
and obviously there is some direct promotion in there, but we're trying to interweave the two.
So they're going to get a benefit by reading it, even if they don't buy the course.
Exactly. That's what that's the goal. That's the approach that we take. And we found if you do that twice a month, the audience gets burnt out. It gets more people unsubscribe. Over time, the number of sales decreases. If you do it once every 2 months, then you make more money than if you're doing it 2 or 3 times a year. But if you do it once a month, it seems to be the sweet spot. And that is basically, you can do it without burning out the audience, and you make more money. You make a lot more revenue, and it's dramatically more, right? Because you know the spikes that you get around Black Friday. We had a client in the architecture space. He had a big audience. He was just mostly making sales organically. Like, people would go from his YouTube channel or his website through to his courses, have a look at them, buy. And then we implemented this, ran this for him, and he was out on a boat with some friends on the day when the sale was going on, and he showed his phone to his wife when they got back to the dock because they got internet back again, and she looked at it and she was like, well, that can't be right. That can't be that can't be true. They can't have made that much money while we were on that boat. And it's just like, and that can, like, he got into 6 figures a month, and then, like, I think his best ever month was like 200,000, something like that.
Yeah.
But 100,000 was kind of like became a regular month, and that was just, he had the potential built, but he just hadn't been doing that kind of promotion. And it continued. We've got the lucky situation where, because we've seen clients for years work with us for years, we're able to see, is the sales gradually going down or is it staying consistent, and what happens if we tweak this variable or that variable. And once a month, or like you were mentioning about your webinars, that's a great way to do it. We've got a client we work with where he will run the webinar. He actually does paid ones, and then he'll only send the promotional emails to the people who attended the webinar.
Yes.
So you can do that with free ones or paid ones. And that way, most people in the audience don't even see anything. It's only the ones who showed a specific interest in that topic are then seeing the promotion. And that's a really beautiful way if you're able to do that. So,
and how many webinars a year would you run?
So it depends whether you're doing that as the main approach or as the email campaigns as the main approach. But if you were doing, like the friend I mentioned with the coaching, she's going to be doing one a month. So every month she's going to have a webinar. A lot of people that we work with, they'll do webinars like every 3 months, and in between they'll do email promotions. A lot of people don't want to do webinars. And I don't know exactly why not, but I just know it's true. Course creators particularly don't want to do them. And it upsets me a little because I'm like, but they work so well.
They
so
do.
Good.
They work really well. They work really well. And I really should be doing them. Because every time I did them, I was like blown away by this. Like, come on. Joking.
Yeah, why don't you do them? Oh, because they just work too well,
They're
too good.
They start feeling guilty for what's going on,
Well, if you want some help afterwards, if you want to have a chat about it, we can do that. We've got a lot of clients where it's like we help kind of how could you put it? We're like providing the emotional support throughout the promotional campaign as well.
That's the problem. That's the problem, John. It's psychological. It's like I know that I told you I've got this little thing that Oracle gave me.
Yeah.
It's the Java lifetime. What's it? Java Community Lifetime Achievement.
Nice.
Little trophy they gave me in London in May for 25 years of writing a newsletter. Right?
Yeah.
And so I've got this incredible goodwill that I've built up for 25 years.
Yeah, and you don't want to lose that. Yeah.
No. What I mean is that I'm really not. I don't want to say take advantage of, because that's not the right word. It's not me taking advantage of the connection, but rather the community is losing out if I don't share with them the fact that this training is available. Because whenever people take it, they go like, they're blown away by it. I mean, I had one guy who said to me, he's from, I think he was from UAE, from Dubai somewhere, and he said to me, this is like the best value for money course in the world, because you do the course and you like double your salary,
Right.
It's like, you said it's way too cheap,
Yeah, it might be too cheap. You mentioned earlier
$1,870, like way too cheap.
You mentioned earlier how like these are priced for professionals and these senior people, and I was like, oh, so I went on your website to have a look at what they were priced for, and I was like, well, they're not priced very high, are they?
No,
like
they're
a lot of
not.
them are like $100 or something like this,
Well, no, I mean, I do have some for 100, but most people would buy the super pack, which is almost $2,000, which is, for a self-study course, is a chunk of change.
Yeah. But I think that was everything you said.
That's with everything.
Yeah.
And that's what most people buy, unless they buy other bundles as well. But that's the most common sale is that one.
Java Specialist Super Pack 2025.
That's the
everything
one.
in the kitchen sink. Got it. Yeah. So like a big part of our job is helping people in a similar situation to you actually to like be okay with sending, you know, promotions out and be like, okay, you're
Yeah.
concerned about this thing. What are we going to do to address that? Either how do we
Yeah.
make sure you feel better, or, you know, whoever it is we're working with feels better, or what are we actually going to tweak to make sure that, you know, you get to have the experience and your audience gets to have the experience that you want to have. Because at first, what I used to say to my team was, "Oh God, it's hard enough dealing with our own emotions. If we're also trying to like help clients with their emotions, then that's like, oh, it's going to be too much." And then I realized after enough time, it's like, no, that's what's needed.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Relatively doing the email marketing and funnels part of it. It's not like, you know, it's a skill that took years to develop, and we spent a lot of time on training the team, what have you. But that's not the hardest part. The hardest part is the emotional process that everyone's going through. So that's now like that's something that I actually think of that as part of our job, is helping people.
At its core is the fear of rejection.
Yeah. Which is a big one, right?
Big one, very big one. Because you'll get like, you know, a bunch of people, and they will, of your whatever tens of thousands of people reading your newsletter, some will unsubscribe, some will send you a nasty note saying this was a waste of my time, I'm unsubscribing, and others will just, you know, buy something from you. And it's so easy to focus on the ones who are unhappy rather than the people who love what you do.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
the other thing, you know, I'm sure you've heard this concept before, that all you need is a 1,000 real
1,000 true fans. Kevin Kelly. Yeah,
1,000 true fans. True fans, that's the right word. And so, if you've got 1,000 true fans who will buy anything that you do, anything that you produce, you're good to go. You don't really need to. You don't need to have 100,000 fans. 1,000 true fans is more than enough.
Yeah.
And so the question is, how do you build these true fans? You know, and one thing which I do, which is, I don't know if it's unique. I don't know if any other people do this. But if somebody signs up to the newsletter, they get a personalized email, but it's not personalized. It's automated. Right? So the way I've written it, so if you've not signed up to my newsletter, you should sign up, and you'll get the automated email, and you'll see what I mean. After a couple of days, it's after you confirm, it's like a few days later you get the email, and then it's like, hey, I'm Heinz Kabutz myself, and asking you a bit about yourself, and what's so interesting is the responses I get when people respond to that, because a lot of people get hundreds of responses a year from the email, and they all know it's an automated email,
right?
And they still respond to it, and they say, you know, I've never responded to something like this before, you know, but the way I've written it sounds so personable that they want to respond to it, and once they've responded to it, then I respond to them. Now we've got a connection. You know? And this is just the first step towards a relationship, towards a friendship, I would say, that hopefully is going to carry on for the next 10, 20 years.
Beautiful. If somebody wants to sign up to your newsletter, they're not going to be Java developers, so I don't know if you want them.
Well, they should, if they want to try it out, they're welcome to get some tips from
Okay. Where would people go to see that?
Well, just go to javaspecialists.eu.
Yep.
And you'll see there's a sign up page there.
Beautiful.
And then once you've signed up, just, you know, unsubscribe again once you get the email.
just hit the button that says don't tell me about courses, you know.
Well, you know, basically once you've seen the response to that, you can then unsubscribe basically. And and I'll delete you again from my newsletter
on the list.
Because that's the other thing is I make sure that the people that sign up really want to get it. So in other words, if you sign up and a few days later you unsubscribe, I'll pick that up and I'll delete you from my database again. So you'll be gone again.
Yeah, perfect. Heinz, thanks so much for coming on today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, John. I've really learned a lot, and it's been quite inspiring, because what you did is you sort of gave me permission to do something which is considered antisocial.
What, sell stuff?
No, be a pest until they buy. Be a pest until they either buy or go away.
Yeah.
both are wins, sort of.
Yeah. Both allowed. Yeah. Okay, so someone wants to go check you out, javaspecialists.eu, and there's an S at the end of specialists. And thank you so much for coming on. Really, really appreciate it. It's been really good fun. And dear listener, thanks so much as always for listening in. Love you guys. If you've got any questions about this stuff, if you want to have a specific topic that we cover on a future episode, drop me an email, john@datadrivenmarketing.co. And if there's any of the topics that were covered that you want to get some more resources about, then a good place to start is go to datadrivenmarketing.co/resources. And we've got all of our free downloads there, stuff about email promotions and opt-ins and what have you. Otherwise, I will see you in the next episode. Heinz, thanks again.
Thanks, John. It's been fun. Thank you very much.